Right, and welcome back to the 2025 graphics paper. We're looking at question 3 here. So there's A, B, C, D, and we've also E and F on the following page. So first question here, the elevation and plan of a traffic cone are shown below. So we have our cone here. Draw, in space provided, draw a freehand pictorial sketch. So pictorial meaning 3D. So a 3D sketch of the traffic cone, color or shade of sketch. So looking at our traffic cone, there's two elements to it. We have on the top half a truncated cone, so that little piece is cut off of our cone. So we're going to have to draw a basic shape of a cone. But before that, we have a base, and that's a square-based prism. Okay, so we'll start off with the base. We've got a crow's foot, just to draw it an isometric. Okay, so try to get it in a nice proportion. Okay, so our height there to our width, we're looking at the proportions of that. Maybe about there. And back at approximately 30 degrees. And the same distance we've stepped out there, we'll try and step the same here. Great. This is the outline of our base. So whatever angle we've done that first line at, we're trying to keep parallel to it as much as possible. Okay, that's just the outline of it. And now we have our cone. So the base of the cone is stepped in a little bit from each of the sides, almost the same as the distance we've gone up. So approximately that distance. We'll come to the sides. We're coming in to maybe there, there, there. So we're going to have a cone, right? So in 3D, that circular base of the cone will appear as an ellipse, so kind of an elliptical shape there. So that's our cone. And then the height of it, so if we look at the width to the height, it's a little bit less than double the height compared to the diameter. So if that's our diameter, from there we're going up, sorry, center there, we're going to go up once, twice, maybe back down a little bit. So that's our outline of our cone. And it's truncated, so there's a little bit taken off the top, so that's going to appear as an ellipse. We also have this orange strip and white strip, so kind of a sticker that's on it. So approximately there. Okay, so that's my thinking behind the outline of it. Now, just so it stands out a little bit better on the page for you to see, I'll outline it in pen. Okay, so that's kind of the outline of it there. And just to tidy it up, rub out so that's just so you can see it a little bit clearer. And then finally, they're asking us to color or shade. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of color to this, maybe a little bit of shadow. Okay, so I've got my orange color there, so a little bit darker on this side. That'll fade as we go around. Okay, and just get my pencil, a little bit of shade maybe to the side here, make that a little bit darker. This edge a little bit darker as well. A little bit of shadow cast on the surface there, and that's kind of enough. That should get us all our marks for our colouring and our shade. Okay, so part B. Shown on the right is a road sign. The outline of a similar sign is shown below. So we've got the outline here. That's the same one there. divide AB into 6 equal parts and complete the drawing of the road sign below. So first thing we need to do is divide this into 6 equal parts, right? There's going to be marked going for that. It's a pretty simple construction. So we want to go a line from A or B, it doesn't matter, and it's going to be at any angle. So there's my line at any angle. I'm now going to get my compass. I can set it to any distance. From A, I'm going to step off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So any distance there on my compass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for my 6 equal parts. And always, just for yourself, come along and label those just to make sure we've got our correct amount. Okay, common mistake there. People might know the construction, but just in the rush of the exam, get that wrong and maybe only do 5. So now I've got that done. My important line is going to be from that 6 point back to the end of the line I'm dividing. So there we have it. Okay, and what I want to do is that line I'm going to run parallel back from each of those marks. So here we have it. We're going to go parallel. So that's after sliding. Great. So now we've that done. Okay, so I've divided it into 6 equal parts and now complete the drawing of the road sign. So to complete the drawing of the road sign, I need to put in these lines, and we'll see that symbol there is telling me that they're parallel. Okay, so from that first division, which I have here, I'm going to join up to the corner. Okay, and now all of these lines will be parallel to that. So I'll need my sliding set squares again. This way. Slide back. There's my parallel line. So these can all be heavy lines. And last one then. Okay. So always go back and see, is there anything else to do? And we have color or shade the completed drawing. So we need to add some color and shade to this. So got a red there. Try neat and tidy, stay inside the lines. I'm going to shade this up. Okay. It's another common mistake. People rush along and they forget to pick up these easy marks. Great. So that's part B completed. On to part C. Shown on the right is a stop sign. And you can see it there clearly. The outline of the stop sign is based on a regular polygon. Name the polygon. So we need to count up the sides. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 sides. We have an octagon. Okay. And then part 2. Write down the measure of angle A. So if you wanted to measure it, you could. Okay, and we can see, well, I need to extend that line out, but it's going to be 45 degrees. And if you didn't, because we don't have to measure it, a way of calculating that, okay, with any polygon, what I like to say is any regular polygon, if I divide 360 degrees divided by the number of sides, which is 8, I'll get my answer. Okay, and my answer there, if I use my calculator, If you need it to 360 divided by 8, we got 45. So 45, and don't forget your degrees symbol. Okay, part D then, the image on the right shows a measuring tape. Shown below are 3 measurements. So here's our measuring tape, and here are 3 measurements, A, B, and C, marked on the tape. In the space provided, write down the measurements for A, B, and C. So we're not gonna come and measure these, okay? Because this is a measuring tape. They're asking us, basically, can we read the tape? So if we look here at A, first of all, we've got 10 millimeters, 20 millimeters, okay? That would be 30, but halfway along there, there's a line that's slightly longer. So it's at the 5 mark. So A is going to be 25, okay, millimeters. B is our long measurement. So B, we're following it all the way along to here. So it's going 10, 20, 30, 40, 5, and 2, 1, 2, okay? Or 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47. Okay, so that's 47 millimeters. All right. C then, we've got to do a little bit of maths. Okay, so we're going from the 25 mark, which we had there in A. Okay, and we're traveling to here. So you can either add and subtract, or I'm just going to go, that's 5, it's 10, 15, 20, plus another 2. Okay, that's 27. Right, 5, 10, 15, 20, sorry, 22. 22 millimeters. Okay, so that's part P, or part D completed. Pretty simple. Question E then. Shown below is the outline elevation for a similar measuring tape. So we've got an elevation of that measuring tape. Draw a new tape similar to the given tape with the height AB increased to AB1. So this is an enlargement. Okay, that our tape is increasing from this height to this height. So our first step, if we're doing an enlargement, is we're going to label all these points so we don't forget them. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and I. So they're labeled. Now we're going to radiate out all of these points. Okay, so A, B has radiated out there. We're going to go A, C, radiated out that. D, same again. E, F, H, G, and I. Okay, so there are my points all radiated out. Okay, what we do then next is we're going to do parallel lines. So AB, we've continued parallel there. B, C, here's my new B1. We're going to go parallel to BC to find B1, C1. So it's a horizontal line. So I'll go horizontally. So that's going to give me C1. Then we're going to go parallel back. Let's just see, is this a nice angle? It is 45 degrees. Maybe not quite. So we're going to go parallel using sliding set squares. Parallel to CD, we're going to go and find C1, C1, D1. Okay, let's go back and put that in heavy. Put that in heavy. Okay, then here's a nice one. D, E, H, and I are all along the same line. So if I run vertically down so that I'm parallel, so that's D1, I'm going to find all of those in one shot. So straight down, and I found I1. I found here is H1 and here is E1. Okay, so I found all of them. All right, and lastly now we need to find F and G. So we have point E right there, where it's radiated out. And we're going to go parallel up there like so, and that will find me F1. I can go straight down then to find G. So parallel to FG, I'm finding F1, G1. Down onto its radiated line, and I can go horizontally back then. So that's G1. Okay, so those are my steps always. Okay, we have label your points, radiate, and then we're just doing parallel lines to complete. So that's part E completed. Now on to the long part of question 3. We got F, which is going to be our orthographic question. So the image below shows the design of a road roller. Okay, we've got these big rollers for flattening the road. Draw an elevation in the direction of arrow A, so looking in that way. Project a plan, so that will always be directly underneath it. And an end view in the direction of arrow B. So if it's looking in from here, then it's going to appear on the right hand side. So I'll have elevation, plan, and end view. And then they're asking us about true shape then. So we'll first of all deal with our elevation. So I need to come down far enough. So if I look at the overall height of this, with 50 plus 20 plus 40, that's 90, 110. So I'll come down more than 110. Let's say I'll come down, what's that with 60? Yeah, I'll come down, let's say 150. That should give me plenty of space. And here's my XY line. Okay, so when I'm looking at the elevation, I see heights and I see length. Okay, so here's my starting point. That should fit everything in, 60. Yeah, that'll fit everything in. Okay, so my starting point, and I'm going to start marking off some of these lengths. So I've got 25. Okay. Then we've got 80, so 25 plus 80 is 105. And I've got another 25, so that brings us to 130. So that's the overall width. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing else there. Then we've got some more, or sorry, width or length. We've got some more lengths here. Okay. So at that 25 mark, if I follow it up, we have another 25. It's going to be handy for my radius. 10, 20, 35. So I'm going to start marking those off. So I have another 25, then 10, and 20, there, and 35. So I'm going to have to mark 35 from there. And that should leave me with 15 left over, and I do have 15 left over. Great, so those are my lengths. So what I like to do is I like to project those up and down so it has an elevation and plan. Let's get my smaller set square. So light lines, just projecting everything. So we're creating a grid here that we can come back and put in heavy lines where they need to be heavy. Okay, now if you prefer, you could go straight here and draw your circles just to give you something concrete to work with. It's completely up to you. So what I like to do is put in my heights next. So looking at heights, we have a height of 50, 20, 40. Is there any other heights? My radius, I suppose, is going to be radius 25, so I'll put that in also. and then there's a 15 and 20 above that 20 mark, or that 50 mark. Okay, so we'll put in, you know, just to make it easier for you, what we'll do is we'll measure our circles, or mark off our wheels, our rollers. So there, 25, here's the center of it, the other 25, we'll draw those in. So we've got something concrete here now we can work off of. It'll help you then when you're doing your measurements or following along my measurements. Okay, once again, my circles there quite light with the difference between a pen and pencil, but we'll continue on. So that's that 25 height. We also have 50. Okay, so that's those two heights accounted for. Right, above that we have a 20 and 40. So we've got 20 and a 40. So I'll actually have to extend this up a little further. It's my 20 and my 40. I'll just extend those across because I'll need them for my end view later. Okay, and as I said, we've got a 15 and a 20. So that 15 is above the wheel. So I'm going to measure my 15 above the wheel, and then 20 on top of that. So there are two more heights that I need. Okay, and there's no other heights there. Tick them all off. Okay, so let's start outlining my elevation. The wheels are done. Okay, and I'll work up along. So I've got that piece connecting them. Okay, we're going to travel up then for this edge and then across diagonally. So up my 15. And we're going diagonally then to my 25 mark, so that's to there. We've got 10 going across the top. Then we drop down, we've got a trench kind of coming down here. And that's coming down to the same height as my wheels. So it's coming down to this level. And it's in line with that wheel, yeah. So drop that down now. Then we're traveling up that height of 20. So that was my 20 mark, so it's traveling up to here. We've got a flat surface then all the way out. Well, we're going to see that edge, it's a flat surface on there. So let's mark it all in. Okay, we've got our rectangular sloping surface up that 40 distance, so straight up. We know it's 15 because we've already measured that 15. And then that's actually coming down my 20 as well. It's not going all the way down to touch the wheel, it's stopping short, so it's going to here. Now with that edge then running in along to there. Any other bits then, we have to finish off the top. Okay, so before I move on from there, we are going to ask ourselves, is there any hidden detail? So when I'm looking in from this direction, is there any hidden detail that would be there, but it's covered? Here we're showing, and then inside here we've got this trenched out, I have a bit taken out of the middle section, and that is at a height. They haven't a direct height here, but if we follow that back along, it's at that height of 20. Okay, so in line with this edge. So line there, I'm going to have my hidden detail lines like so. Okay, so that's my elevation completed. We're going to project a plan. So we've projected down all of my widths. The only thing I'll need to project down now is that little piece as well, now that I've found it. Okay, so project that down. And all my other width or length has been projected down. Okay, we'll typically put about 10 millimeters between the elevation and plan. So here's where I'm going to start taking the measurements from. So I have my heights, I have my lengths. Now what I need is depth. So you can see the overall depth of my object is 20 plus 20 plus 20. That's 60. So 60. And we're going to go 20, 20, 20. And there's no other depth. No, because it's 20, 20, 20 up there as well. So we'll draw our grid again. Okay. So I'll just put in the little center mark here for your wheel, that you can see that that was the center of it. Okay. So we'll start at the back here. Okay, so we've this rectangular top surface, and then there's the edges sloping away, but we'll see all of those in line with each other. We're actually going to see the entire edge along that. Yeah, that's going to be a continuous line all the way along to there and all the way to there. And the front of our wheels there. Okay, next edge up, we're going to see this edge, which we have. Show that. Okay, we have this little piece cut out. Okay, which will be in the center only. Then we've got sloping bits back to there, there. Oh, actually need to extend those on a bit further. And that'll be a solid edge there. Okay, so we're back as far as here now. Those two rectangles and that rectangle. So two rectangles, that's the rectangle. Our grey little trench then we have. Okay, and then we have that part there. Okay. Finally then, yeah, that's all of it. Finally then, before we move on, ask ourselves, is there any hidden detail? And looking at it, the underneath, there's an edge there, but that's actually covered, it's in line. There's an edge there where the cylindrical rollers meet the base, and that is also in line with there, but there's a little section in the middle, right, in here, that's the surface, so we need to show that hidden detail. Okay, so that's a bit of hidden detail, and we're also going to have, is that an edge? No, because they're two separate parts. I don't think that would be an edge for hidden detail there. No, it wouldn't, because it turns into a curve, so there's no hidden detail there. Okay, so that's my plan. completed. I'm happy with it. Next up then is our end view. So end view, we need heights and we need depth. So height, I haven't got them all taken across, but let's project these across a little bit better, a little bit clearer. That's all my heights. Okay. And then our depth. Okay, two ways. You can either have a 45-degree line, bring them out and straight up, or I like to just take them directly up at 45 degrees. So what we're doing is we're actually essentially creating isosceles triangles here. So each one of these is an isosceles triangle, so that length is equal to that length, because that angle and that angle are equal. A little bit of geometry there for you. Okay, so I have depth, and let's just create our little grid here again. Okay, so looking in from B, we can see the entire wheel there. So we've got the base of it, and we've got the top of it. Okay, we've then got this rectangular surface. And there's going to be two pieces at the top there, just giving us a little bit of an outline of what it's all going to look like. And that top surface is up top there, just in the middle. Okay, so that's giving us a bit of shape. This edge and this edge, right, we're going to have it sloping down. So there, so they're sloping to there and to there. Okay, let me just put in these sides heavy. First of all. So part of these are going to be hidden detail and part are going to be heavy. So first part, heavy, and into hidden detail. Over here, heavy, and into hidden detail. Okay. So that's front. So we want to deal with this sloping part. So it's going to come along there like so to give us that kind of U shape. Okay, I think that is everything. Now, we ask ourselves again, before we finish this view, is there any hidden detail? Okay, first off, this surface here should have some hidden detail to represent it. Now we'll see that some of it's already kind of in line with that part, and there's going to be hidden detail running along here to show it. So a little bit of hidden detail there. Okay, and I think that's most. Oh, there'll be hidden detail also for that same edge we had here and show down there, running through. It's going to be in the middle there also of our roller. So hidden detail line there also. Okay, the back edge. Hidden would be hidden detail, but it's in line with that surface. So I think that's all of our hidden detail for our shape. Yeah. So end view completed. And that's our X, Y line. Right, then part 4, in the elevation, color or shade a surface which is not a true shape. So not a true shape. Okay, so if I'm at A here looking in, all of this would be a true shape and perpendicular to it. The only surface that's sloping away from me is there. Okay, so that's not a true shape. Okay, so I can shade that in the elevation. nice and neatly. There we go. Okay, so that's part 4 completed. Okay, so there's my long orthographic question in this year's exam.